Why do you keep speculating in a space like this? Within scams and ruggers and things. Damn me, you be getting liquidated by pretend inefficiency and the useless tokens like this. Why don't you quit so that and they give you your bags and shout that there's some money? Shout till it's just a lie. It's just a real call. I can do say how deep in your eyes. Embrace the light. Come, let's hang around under the light. I'll have it for you. Embrace the light. Finish on my way. So look at the light. Embrace the light, motherfucker.
Welcome back to another episode of the Lite Hour live stream. The Lite Hour live stream is a Litecoin dedicated live stream that we host on the Flipping Finance page and on the Flipping Finance YouTube channel every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 5 p.m. EST, besides the final week of each month. So it's a Litecoin dedicated live stream that we dedicate to. That's Autologous, right? Yeah, but yeah, it's a stream dedicated to keeping the Litecoin conversation going one way or another. And today we have a very interesting topic that we're going to be touching on, which is Litecoin about to follow LTC Silver? And this is a very interesting topic for me. This is I know recently I've not really been opening charts a lot, but I want to open this chart because I saw a very interesting post from Tony the Bull Savarino. And if you don't know Tony the Bull Savarino, he's one of the Signal TA guys, right? He doesn't post a lot of noise. He's very highly respected in the crypto community, and he's someone that actually is one of the few people that actually does like technical analysis on Litecoin, or his generally bold to talk about Litecoin and give analysis and price predictions on Litecoin. So definitely someone interesting, definitely someone whose opinions matter. And of course, he made a post today which was essentially, is Bitcoin about to follow is BTC USD about to follow BTC Gold or BTC Silver? I can't recall. I'll pull it up in a few minutes. And essentially I saw that, and that reminded me of the fact that I was one of the first people, if not the very first person, to actually call out LTC Silver in this space, right? So I've been calling out LTC Silver. I've been pointing out the chart. I'm going to bring it up in a bit, before anyone started talking about it, right? And I'm going to admit, right, I was a bit more optimistic about it, of course, because I'm a bit of a Litecoin promo bull, right? This is just my own perspective of things. I just think, Litecoin is bullish every time, and the fundamentals are great. Things can change anytime. Things can become positive anytime. So of course, we've got Seabass here. Seabass LTC, you're a first timer. Shout out to you, bro. Welcome to the Lite Hour live stream. It's such an honor to have you here. So ultimately, I was a bit more positive about LTC Silver when I was talking about it, but of course, I was always talking about the fact that it looked like it was about to break down just because of the technical setup, which of course it did, right? And of course, we're going to be going to all of that. We're going to be going into all of that. It's going to be a very interesting stream. We're going to be going through, and I'm going to be sharing my 2 cents on where I think everything is going, what to expect. Personally, of course, please, this is not financial advice. Just a dude on the internet that's giving my own opinions and just sharing how I feel about the markets and reacting to things in real time. So if you make trading decisions because of what I say, you're most likely going to lose your money. So please don't do that. But I just want to share my 2 cents on what I think. So it's that's all it is. And now that I've gotten that out of the way, of course, I need to give my friends a shout out before getting into our main topic of discussion, which you already know if you've been following the Lite Hour live stream. Of course, you know that we always shout out our friends at 84 million who make cool Litecoin merch like the one I'm wearing. So, of course, if you want to get cool Litecoin merchandise, if you love Litecoin, of course, you know that 84 million are the guys to get it from because they have really good quality stuff that they make. I can vouch for their quality. Of course, you can get it from 84 million. Also, if you dislike Litecoin and you think it's going to zero, and you need an avenue for you to be able to clown us when it finally goes to zero, of course, 84 million are the guys where you should get your merch. So you put it on, and you can clown every Litecoiner wherever you meet them at any time. And yeah, with that being said, of course, let's get into what we're about to talk about, right? Let's get into the main point of discussion. So this was exactly the particular chart that peaked the particular tweet from Tony Savarino that piqued my attention. And this was a post he made. And I was just, scrolling X, just looking at things like whatever, monitoring people's sentiments, seeing what people were talking about. And it piqued my curiosity when I saw it. I'm like, it just reminded me when I started talking about LTC silver back then, and I was comparing the ratios. Ultimately, some people were saying that the assets are not correlated. Why am I actually making this ratios? Why am I looking at this ratio? It's not relevant. But yeah, seeing Tony talk about it and seeing how much I can say I've been correlatively right about like LTC silver being very important, and it's actually been like dictating our performance so far. Kind of cool, right? But yeah, this is the post. Does I don't know if I'm showing it. I have to be sure. I have to be more careful to make sure I'm always showing whatever I'm talking about on screen. So does Bitcoin silver show us a glimpse of what BTC USD chart will eventually look like? And so this is it, right? And you can see what it's essentially showing is you can see that BTC silver looks very terrible. You can see that the fractal of BTC silver is very similar to BTC USD that he has, laid out here, and they're pretty similar when you look at it. But what you see here in BTC silver is that we're kind of like dipping. We're having this mass sell. We had this mass sell-off, right? And this is he's kind of like saying, is this foreshadowing what we're about to see in BTC USD, where this curve that we're seeing in BTC USD ends up forming even more and becoming even more exaggerated and sort of like, continuing, which would take us to, targets he's been calling for a while that are in the range of 30,000-40,000. And that kind of made me ask myself, like, oh my God, like, what of LTC silver? Because the implications of that, and I'm going to pull up LTC silver here. This is LTC silver, by the way. The implications of that, like, me applying that to LTC silver is like, what if we're actually about to follow LTC silver with LTC USD? And I know there's a bit of a short-term bearish outlook, and I'm going to always clarify again, the price of LTC has nothing to do with the fundamentals of Litecoin. Litecoin still remains fundamentally strong, even if we're trading at $10 right now. It doesn't change unless we're seeing dwindling adoption, or where we're seeing the network lose trend a lot. In a way that it's not really sustainable. It still remains fundamentally strong. So technically, you have to look at things like that, right? But short term, the market looks like this. I remember this famous quote from Warren Buffett, where he says, essentially the market is like a madman that just comes to you every day with a different price for what you have. And, since what you have is actually worth more than the madman is offering, you just ignore him every single day. And ultimately he ends up bringing up, the right, value for what you actually have. And so, yeah, short term, it doesn't hurt to point out if things are not, looking too positive, because it's just what it is, right? So what's the implication of LTC USD following LTC silver in the same sense that, Tony is actually asking, what if BTC silver is foreshadowing BTC USD? So let's look at LTC USD. And this is LTC USD. And I'm just I like drawing this channel of a cumulative range of interest personally, but a lot of people prefer to draw triangle, and I'm just gonna play devil's advocate here. I'm not really a fan of this triangle, and I've said this, multiple times. Kind of like reduces the validity of the triangle, in my opinion. And but yeah, just plain devil's advocate, right? And we can just sort of like see that if we kind of make this a triangle, then what we're seeing here is kind of like a symmetrical triangle, right? And that's what we're seeing here. And you compare that to, okay, am I sharing two tabs at once? All right, okay. Now, when you compare that to what we're seeing with LTC Silver is essentially, a descending triangle, like I pointed out. And I've been calling this, LTC Silver out way before we started dipping in any significant way. I've been calling it out for a very long time now. But you can see that if we're actually like trying to see if this is actually foreshadowing what we're going to see with LTC USD, then ultimately we're saying that LTC USD might actually have a move that follows this. And if you look at this move, oh my God, it's almost like the LTC. And by the way, I haven't checked this LTC silver chart in a while, which is kind of crazy, right? Oh my God, it looks like we kind of did the full measured move of the upper range of this. Oh my God, I need to look at this because we came so down. Oh my God, this is brutal. Okay, let's check this out. So okay, no, we didn't. So we just did something similar to this. Okay, I don't know what target how I can fit that into this, but yeah, ultimately we had how many percent bleed against silver here since we broke this descending triangle. So yeah, we did like a 72% discount against silver after this triangle. So if we're to try to foreshadow that on LTC, oh my God, this is gonna piss off a lot of people. Oh my God, did I show that? Okay, I'm gonna show it again. So this is it here. So this is LTC silver, and you can look at it, right? It's okay, now it's 74%. I'm just gonna use the 74%, right? Drawdown. So let's just overlay that. Let's look at what a 74% drawdown will look like for LTC USD if it were to replicate here. Oh my God, this is gonna piss off a lot of people. But let's do it anyways. Oh, what is that? Come on. Come on, get out of here. So what would that be? Just kind of take that down. So we're seeing targets that are closer. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So if we're going, and I point of breakout in the channel, but ultimately we're talking about a potential where LTC goes to about $20 in the short term if it actually follows LTC silver. And this just sucks to see. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm smiling, but it's not funny. I'm smiling, but it's not funny. So like a 70% drawdown right now is gonna mirror what we've seen with LTC silver. And I remember when LTC silver started breaking down, I wasn't expecting it to get anywhere close to where we are. And I started covering LTC silver from the beginning of the break, right at the point. Matter of fact, I started covering it before the break itself. Okay. Oh, we've got UV Star Baby in the building. Hola, welcome. Appreciate you guys showing up. Okay, we see Master. Only because silver went parabolic, the dollar isn't going parabolic against Litecoin. Yes, that's a good point. Also, LTC structure is not a bearish structure, so that's just something to keep in mind. I'm just playing the devil's advocate based on what I saw Tony say. And that's ultimately what I'm doing here. I'm just playing the devil's advocate. Like I want to be that guy that cries wolf and then wolf doesn't come. You understand? And like everyone gets to like brace up for wolf attack, but then wolf doesn't come. It's like that's fine, right? And that's kind of like what I was doing with LTC. We're like those that have been following. Hey, buy it. Yeah. Oh my God. Like that's such a key. These. Oh my God. I don't. on, right? Things are kind of crazy over here, with what's happening in the in the country, right? But this $50 Litecoin that we kind of get now, it's just such a gift for me, and that's all I could say, right? And oh, we've got 13 people in the chat. Oh my god, that is so good. I'm so happy. Welcome, you guys. I really appreciate you guys being here. So yeah, the 50 something bucks Litecoin has kind of been like an extremely generous gift for me. I've been taking a lot of advantage of it. If we're gonna get $20 Litecoin, oh my god, that's just gonna be like, it's gonna be airdrop Litecoin in my opinion. I don't see it happening. I don't see that happening. I'm just gonna be clear. Because if that happens, it's gonna be very crazy. But I do expect, and this is my honest expectation, right? I don't expect that we follow through with this completely, just like we did with silver. And the reason is because, again, remember, this LTC silver chart is it's actually a bearish one, right? It's a descending triangle. So technically speaking, it is a bearish triangle. And I made the case that this was ultimately our setback with Litecoin. This has kind of been the reason, in my opinion, why we hadn't been able to break all-time highs for as long as possible, because we were just making lower highs progressively against silver. So there's just no reason for us to break out against USD, because, well, the LTC silver chart was just like this. And at this point, when we've kind of like, fulfilled this bearish structure and we've kind of like followed through with it, it's just all that's left for us to get all-time high is like probably some further bleeding with LTC USD and like consolidation, and we can begin another move. Because in my opinion, our path is cleared. We've fulfilled this bearish structure that had formed against silver for multiple years now. And if this reverses and we start going up, if Litecoin actually gets any spark right now, because if we fulfilled this, I don't really see a lot holding us back from breaking all-time highs. But that being said, I'm going to go back to playing devil's advocate and say that even though we might not see this, anything's possible, right? Anything's possible. What if the US bombs Iran tomorrow? What's going to happen? It's going to happen, right? The rubber baron exchanges, they're going to liquidate everything and probably cause like a COVID style flash crash. But, if that doesn't happen, what I'm thinking might happen more conservatively is just a consolidation, like a slow bleed that probably takes us to around 30 something. But it might last long enough to really force people to capitulate. And by people, I mean the actual people that matter, like we're going to be pushed to capitulate somehow. And that's what I think the market is just going to go for before we get any reversal. So I'm expecting things to actually get more frustrating. Okay, we've got CK Cardano in the building. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you for showing up. But yeah, that's what I'm expecting, right? That's what I'm expecting to happen. A further consolidation, maybe bleed. And if we get $30 Litecoin, those of us that understand the fact that it's just basically free Litecoin and the fundamental trends of Litecoin, it's going to be a gift to us. But again, there are people that they're in Litecoin. It's kind of like from an purely investment perspective, and they're going to be in a point where that's going to feel like the end of the road. And yeah, it's going to suck, because like a lot of people are going to get shaken out. A lot of people have already gotten shaken out since we broke down in bleeding. And this bleed is very frustrating because it's a slow one, right? It's a slow bleed. And we don't seem to be having that bottom information where we kind of like maybe get a dragonfly doji or something, and we can celebrate. But the month is still early, but I'm not gonna bet on this month finishing green. But yeah, we're gonna see as things develop. I'm gonna continue to update you guys. But I just said I should play devil's advocate here. But I want to know you guys' just thought. Like, are you guys actually prepared for like a $20 Litecoin? Are you guys mentally prepared for that? Picked up 44 LTC today. Oh, CK Cardano purchased 4 LTC on Sext and moved it to self-custody wallet. Yay! Bravo! Bravo, senor. Bravo, senor. Yeah, that's freaking cool. That's the way, bro. That's the way. Picked up 44 LTC today, master, bro. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a big bag. So how many? If we see $20 LTC, Master, how many are you gonna pick? How many LTC are you gonna pick if we see $20 LTC? How many are you gonna pick? You're gonna pick like, I don't know, 500. Like how many people are gonna like snag that deep major? I believe those levels are gonna be like very heavily bought up by whales, because like it's just gonna be a gift. I don't see Litecoin dropping to a level like that and not recovering fast. And that's just my personal opinion. I don't see Litecoin dropping to that level and recovering fast. It's just doesn't make sense to me, right? Because at those levels, it's kind of like it's no longer in the coffers of Binance alone, right? We're talking about like levels where whales have historically accumulated. I mean, we're currently in levels where whales have historically accumulated like a fuckload of Litecoin, right? And like if we drop any further, you know, whales that have been accumulating for years, I don't know. I just don't see staying there long enough. Okay, for every 1 BTC there are 4 LTC, huh? That's pretty cool. Every 1 BTC there are 4 LTC. There are also other things I want to talk about, right? So there are other things that Tony was talking about, and oh my god, like I saw this other post that Tony made, which is essentially that you know, I just want to point it out, right? Because the RSI and LTC is like the lowest ever in its history, right, on the HTF. And while this looks like, and the RSI for Bitcoin is like the second lowest in its history. And while this looks like, you know, it's a perfect opportunity, like RSI is so low, this is time to buy. It's like we're in capitulation territory, right? This, like, traditionally, right? If we're not talking about, like, let's take away the fact that we understand the fundamental values of what Litecoin is, and, you know, the things that are driving our conviction for Litecoin. Fundamentally, if we're just looking at it as any other asset, capitulation, absolute capitulation like this in the chart can actually last much longer than you can expect. All right. So like what we really need here, in my opinion, is like a reversal that comes no later than, you know, over the next, like, I don't know, 4-5 months. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe over the next 6 months, we have to see a reversal, and we have to make sure we do not spend a lot of time here, because you can see it. LTC monthly RSI is the most oversold in its history. I mean, look at levels that we're touching in this thing. I mean, if we do not reverse over the next 6 months, and we spend, I mean, of course, you know, these things eventually reset in a way, and small moves can essentially result in, you know, more sizable moves in the RSI. Kind of like resets itself. But we don't want to spend a lot of time under here, in my opinion. And yeah, it's one of two things from my perspective. It's either we see a very strong bounce here, or we see the one I think will most likely happen, either a slow bleed or just capitulative consolidation for a few months before we finally blast off. But it's left to see what we get. I think once it's past, we get a new all-time highs in BTC, and that brings the rest of the market with it. Yes, actually. And there was also this post that you know, Tony said, and I've been saying for a while that LTC is gonna lead the next alt season, and I really strongly believe this. Forget the fact that like I'm an LTC fanboy, right? I really do personally believe like LTC is gonna lead the next alt season, and everything just looks perfectly aligned for it, right? You look at LTC USD's chart, like it's positioned in a way that most altcoins aren't positioned. Yeah, right. Look at Chainlink, look at Doge, look at Cardano. These things look like they're very far away from making an explosive moves that takes them above their all-time highs, right? And especially when you look at it on a long term, like you look at it on the HCF, you look at it like the chart over the last, like the full chart, and kind of like look at what the 8-year setup has kind of been for these ones. And then you look at something like Ethereum that has essentially rejected its all-time high, its last bull market all-time high brutally this cycle, which kind of looks like it's about to spend a lot of time below that all-time high. Kind of like maybe mirroring what Litecoin did, because like Litecoin, we kind of like rejected our all-time high last cycle, and we spent a long time below that. And it just appears to me that where the path of least resistance appears right now or exists right now is with Litecoin for capital to push things. And that's just how it's structured. And Litecoin is not far away from, if you look at the technical setup of Litecoin, it's not far away from an explosive move that takes it above its all-time high. It's not far away from, price discovery. It's a few monthly candles will take it above its all-time highs. And when you look at the chart, from a long-term perspective, you look at the HTF, it's not going to look like an anomaly. It's just going to look normal. It's going to look like a continuation of this formation or a fulfillment of this formation. And you kind of like look at that and you consider the fact that we're kind of like in terrible levels when it comes to total 3. And I really like this post from Tony Savarino that really encapsulates this. And it says altcoins total 3 has we've had the debt crossing the moving averages, and you can kind of look at that. And if we're seeing a reversal in this total 3 and Litecoin is seeing its breakout, I don't see how that breakout for Litecoin will not end up being a bull market defining move, and that's not going to be one that sucks out the bull market liquidity. So yeah, CK Cardano, I actually see that perspective. I share that perspective that once it passes all-time high with BTC, it can kind of like bring the rest of the market along with it. I see that. I think there's a very strong possibility that LTC ends up being what drives the whole bull market. And it's just gonna it tells us with a lot of things fundamentally, if you really think about it, right? It's gonna be the end of the casino nonsense, because like everyone, the illusion that any of these casino tokens have any value died completely with the meme coin semi super cycle. That died away. And we're at the point where everyone's going to be talking about the fundamentals. Everyone's going to be going back to the very reasons why crypto was created. And all of that narrative kind of like lines up where we are right now. With regards to like market sentiments is a level that is perfectly poised for Litecoin to take over right now. And everything aligns should we get that market reversal. But again, it's just worth noting that the market reversal might end up taking longer than we expect, right? And that's just one of the things we have to contend with. It's one of the things we have to deal with. So we're at the point where total 3, alts, we look like we're about to repeat what we had here, and you can kind of see when we had the last debt cross. It kind of coincided, in my opinion, with the bottoming of the first bottom of this formation, and you can kind of like see that happening here. And we had a little bit of a relief rally to get this to kind of like unwind a bit more, and then we went on that final leg that took us to the absolute bottom of the total 3. And I mean, if you look at this fractal, it kind of looks like it's about to repeat itself, right? And then we're gonna get that relief and the final leg down. However, if we notice that how extended this particular rally that we had with total 3 was compared to what happened next, right? And what led to this this debt cross that we saw before everything resetted, and then we got into another cycle. We're not that extended this time, right? And this move was not as violent as this. So personally, I wouldn't expect that if we cross here that we spend so long here. So we're probably going to see one of the shortest bear market, but it's going to be one that, in my opinion, will be necessary, especially when it comes to like cleaning all the trash from the system, when it comes to like getting rid of all the poo-poo coins, as Kevin O'Leary would love to call them. It's kind of like necessary to get rid of all those. Um, with the 24 to 72 hour pump, uh, dump with meme coin casinos. Okay, with a 24 pump. Okay, I can't read what's in between pump and dump, CK Cardano. I don't know what I'm supposed to be reading there, but yeah, we're seeing the death of the meme coin casino happen in real time, and so a reversal on the total three, it would just be fitting that it will coincide with a maybe Litecoin doesn't start it, maybe it just crawls, but once it picks up momentum, it leads from there on. It leads this entire total tree reversal from there on, and it might get to a point where we might see, and this is just my hopium, a Litecoin super cycle, a situation where Litecoin just ultimately decouples from the rest of the market. And I mean, Litecoin hasn't really been moving like the rest of the market completely, so yeah, it's kind of like cool to see. I don't know who else has been noticing Litecoin has been experiencing some sort of like relative strength recently. We've kind of like been having days where we just move against the market. It's kind of cool to see. Okay, between pump and dump. Oh, I get that. So with the 24 to 78 hour pump between, oh boy, sorry, I really don't understand it completely, but if you mean we're gonna see a pump in Litecoin can be the end of the meme coin casinos. In my opinion, I'd agree. It's gonna be the nail in the coffin, a situation where the market reverses with Litecoin leading that reversal, kind of only Litecoin leading that reversal. It's gonna be freaking cool. Okay, do we have any other comments earlier that I haven't responded to? Oh yeah, we had an earlier comment from UV Star Baby. I'm prepared for low $30 and will definitely be buying more if or when it hits. Pretty solid, pretty freaking solid. Let's look at that. That is really nice. Like the number of Litecoiners that actually share this perspective and like genuinely are gonna do that. Like you guys are diehards. You guys are feeding me with so much adrenaline that honestly, like I don't ever think about quitting. I always think about different ways to just I'm trying personally to just find different ways to evolve, right? Because like personally, I've been trying to focus a lot on how to push Litecoin and like, kind of like get Litecoin to wider audiences. I've been doing that with the sketches, and you guys motivate me, man. You guys motivate me. Lots of y'all that have been here for much longer, and you guys are still grinding like crazy bitches. Wow, it's just so beautiful to see you guys. It's so cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the things that I really wanted to talk about. If there's anyone who has anything they want me to talk about, just let me know. So we're gonna touch on it, right? If there's anything. If not, we're just gonna be looking at comments and we're gonna be looking at Litecoin sentiments, and we're gonna end the show when the time clocks. Okay. Do we still have anyone in the chat, or have you all now hopped off? Is there still anybody in the chat? Oh boy, I came in today with a lot of like energy, but like if you I don't really have all that energy in real life right now. I don't know where the energy came from. At the moment, before I started the stream, I was a little down like on energy, and I just started the stream and all that energy, just that pump just came in. Kind of beautiful. I like it. Oh, UV Star Baby is here. Yay. Pretty cool having you here today, honestly. Like I think there was one particular stream. I know you don't really see like my tweets a lot because you told me that you haven't really been on X a lot. But there's a particular stream that I postponed by an hour. I made the announcement on X, but I don't think you saw it. And I think that was like four or five streams ago. But ultimately, it's really nice to have you here. By the way, I want to make this announcement. I'm gonna drop this announcement midstream, and uh, this is episode 38. So episode 42, I'm gonna be calling. We're gonna be pausing the Lite Hour live stream temporarily, and there are a couple of reasons why. Now, episode 42 is symbolic because if you look at it, right, we kind of think about it from the perspective of two halves, right? So 42 can kind of like be the first part of it, and then there's another 42 episodes to combine to make 84. So 42, 42, 84, 84 episodes, the Lite Hour live stream. Kind of cool, right? And also, I want to restructure the stream. So one of the things I've been trying to do, and when I resumed the stream this year, I started trying to do those things was I want to incorporate OBS with the streams. So I want to use OBS to stream. And the advantage of that is that we're going to be having like live feed of price data and a lot of other cool things. Also, I want to kind of like make it a little more professional, add a little more professional touch to it, so that the quality of the stream can be much higher. And I just want to design it to something that is market ready to be able to capture audiences whenever the time comes and Litecoin starts getting attention. And essentially, this is what I want to, because at the current state of the stream, I don't think we're mainstream ready yet. So that's what I want to shape it into, something that is mainstream ready. And so there's a lot of work that's going to be going into it. And so at episode 42, we're going to be pausing. But trust me, when the stream comes back, there's not going to be any drop in quality. There's going to be an increase in quality. And also there's going to be like a cool structure to it. And like structure where every single stream, we're going to have the reserved time for, we're going to have a reserved time specifically dedicated for like, conversations like this in every stream. So there's never going to be one stream where it's just like an entire monologue. There's going to be time for other things. A lot of things that I'm actually planning. And yeah, I should said that. Love it, bro. Yes, Rafael. Yay! Shout out to you, CK, bro. Shout out to you. Thank you for shouting me out. Continue to elevate and refine. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna continue to try my best. Honestly, I love you guys. I love this Litecoin community. I love every single one of y'all. Yo, just I love this community. Honestly, I really can't say how much I do. I really do. And just gonna continue to refine and find better ways to continue to be of service to this. We're in something great, actually. We're in something that is actually like aiming to change the world's money. Like if this actually ends up working the way we actually think it's gonna work and the way we're actually pushing for it to work, we're all gonna be legends, man. This is something I really love, the way we're all supportive of each other and we're all grinding in this space. It's kind of cool. I really love it. You're ahead of the time, Rafael. I think you're doing one of. Oh my God, arigato! Thank you so much, Mr. Oh my God, yeah, that means so much to me hearing that. Kamsahamnida, arigato. I'm picking up what you're cooking, man. You're not alone. This is the future. Together we're strong. Indomitable free. Yes, let's go. CK Cardano. By the way, CK Cardano, I've been seeing your spaces, bro. You have the energy of master, bro. Like you're so energetic. You're so fire. I see those spaces, bro. You're going hard. I listen to them because I survive in the spaces, but I play your spaces passively, bro. Bro, you go hard. I really appreciate what you're doing. UV Star. I have an idea for a skit, but I'm hesitant to share. What? Tell me, girl, what you mean? Tell me. What do you mean? What? Drop the idea. If you want to drop it in the comment, if you want to drop it in my DM, hey, drop any idea you got. Like, what do you mean you're hesitant? Drop it. Let me bring it alive. Like, come on, let's bring it to life. That's gonna be so cool. Please share me the idea. I want to see it. Because I'm working on another sketch, by the way, today. It might not drop this week, but it's really cool. It's about Casper and Litecoin. It's kind of funny. It's probably going to be my last Casper related sketch in a while, but I think it's funny. So I had to write it. But yeah, share me your idea. That's I really want to see that. Precisely, we cultivate a new kind of media and culture exchange. Absolutely, absolutely. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you too. We expon that English, bro. Exponentiate, bro. Like I was about to butcher exponentiate right now. What an absolute freaking idiot I am. Yeah, we exponentiate each other. That's the word. Yeah, it kind of look big from here. It look like express like look like a very big word. But yeah, that's yeah, it's a mass stem. Yeah, so like we grow exponentially. That's it. We're building the culture. We're building the culture in this space. We're contributing to it. I'm very glad. I'm very honored that I'm part of you guys, and we're all doing this together. I'm very honored. You know, this is the, in my opinion, there's not a lot of things that actually top the achievement of being one of those that kind of like contributed, even in the slightest of ways, to changing the world's money. Like imagine if you were one of those that either like promoted gold early on, and like you got to be in, you know, I don't know, even in the footnote of the history books of Alexander the Great, or oh my god, Plato, or I don't know, the ancient Egyptians, King Tut and Akhenaten and all those guys, and like the ones before them. Like imagine if you get to be in the footnote of history in those eras. Like that is the, you know, the equivalence of like being an early promoter, being an early pusher of, you know, Litecoin, and trying to, you know, push for more adoption, trying to spread the awareness, trying to let people understand what it means. Like yeah, like it's such a big honor, like that all of us, we get to be in this together. I'm so grateful that we get to be in this together. I'm so grateful, honestly. It's just so nice, man. It's so nice. And with you, with Master, with UV Star, with Aldo, with Chikun, with Discover Litecoin, Matt Solid. I don't know why Matt changed his name from Matt to Discover Litecoin. This is a big gay. but yeah, we've got other people. We've got, have I mentioned what's the name? Satoshi Lights. Yeah, we've got everyone. We've got a lot of people. You know, we've got Warren. We've got CryptoCom. We've got this big community. Like I think everyone in this community kind of knows each other. It's kind of cool. But yeah, let's kind of look at what you guys think. What I want to know, guys, what have your experience been so far with like other people's sentiments? Because I follow sentiments a lot. Like I watch sentiments a lot, and sometimes I just come and I see because when we start recovering, anytime we get even the slightest recovery with Litecoin, I just come online and immediately I see everyone start going, Litecoin's about to go to 8 grand. I'm like, okay, yeah, we're about to cuff all of these gains up in the next like 40 minutes. And we do. It's kind of crazy. And when we're like dumping and everyone's still like bullish and positive, we're like, oh my god, it's just gonna be more pain. And we get more pain. And whenever we're like dumping and everyone's like, oh yeah, Litecoin's going to zero, I'm like, finally, we're gonna finally find the bottom. And then we do find the bottom and we recover. And everyone stays bullish again. It's kind of like fun tracking this sentiment. Like, what have you guys been noticing about other people's sentiments? And by the way, UV Star, I really am begging you, share me your idea. I want to see your idea for the sketch. Let me bring it to life. It's gonna be such an honor for me to bring that to life. And you guys can share me your ideas for any sketch whenever you want, and I'll bring it alive. Okay, it's gonna be so fun. Like imagine, and like you watch your ideas being acted out by me. Isn't it cool? It's cool, kind of cool, right? So if you guys have any ideas of any sketch, just let me know. I'll bring it alive. So yeah, let's just go through some what's it called, let's go through some live sentiment watch together, right? And we've got like 14 more minutes in this stream, plus 3 minutes injury time. If you watch soccer, you're gonna like that. We're gonna have injury time. So yeah, let's see what another thing I find kind of cool, like when I'm searching Litecoin LTC and I'm kind of like looking at sentiments. It's like mostly from people that I already know, right? That's kind of a beautiful thing about the community. Litecoin Summit 2025 in Vegas was amazing. Litecoin community, Litecoin Summit 2026. Oh yeah, this is freaking cool. I have to like this and bookmark it. More people, y'all need to work towards Litecoin Summit 2026. God, I am working towards this. I'm working. God knows I'm working. I really am. Oh my God, I really want to be there. But we're gonna see. I'm optimistic that I'm gonna be able to meet my target. I just hear the loud bang outside. I don't know what that loud bang is. Should I be worried? Did you guys hear it? Okay, hold on. I just heard a loud bang. I don't know what it is. Hold on. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if I should get freaked out or anything. But yeah, I hear the loud bang and I went to check it out. And thank God it was nothing. It really was nothing. Or it appears to be nothing. At least it's not a bomb. Because that would have been pretty strange, right? I didn't hear anything at the stream. Oh, okay. Then it probably got filtered out by my mic, but I heard a loud bang, like. Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm not in the part of Nigeria where there's like bombings happening. So I'm good. My heart kind of raced a bit, but I'm good. Probably someone crashed your car or something, but that's not the sound of a crash car. Maybe the transformer blew up or something. I don't know. Probably something, anything, or maybe someone slammed your door shut like the other way that just made so much noise. Who knows? Glad all is well. Glad you're good, bro. Oh, thank you guys. Arigato. Glad all is well. UV Star, drop your idea. Come on. Glad all is well. Yes, but drop your idea. Like, drop your idea for the sketch. Let me bring it to life. Don't be shy. Come on, drop it. I want to see it. But yeah, appreciate you guys for cheering me up there. Yeah, appreciate you guys. So let's look at live sentiment watch while we wait for a response from UV Star. So yeah, what is Million? Million is always bullish. Like there's not one time Million is not bullish. How tiny the Litecoin chart looks here, so much room to go up. Yes, like it's one of the funny things is that Litecoin, and I said this before, Litecoin has, if you look at the chart from this perspective, Litecoin has the levity to actually go to $20 and still look fine. Like it still has that. It has that much room to just mess around without breaking. And like some people are not paying attention. This is what I'm always like advocating. Managing your short-term emotions and kind of like understanding how these things work. Because at the end of the day, like every single commodity, the guys that are trading these commodities, they're kind of like trading it like poker. You're kind of playing poker, right? And if you're playing poker, if you play poker, you understand what I mean. Like if you don't know who the sucker on the table is, you're gonna be the sucker. And if you don't know how to play the markets, you're gonna get kicked out. You're gonna like it's gonna be you're gonna like it's gonna get shaped up in a way that it's gonna look like the end, but it's not, and you're just gonna get rinsed out. And sometimes like just knowing that this is gonna happen might not be enough to insulate you from feeling that fear. It's like it's always good to just understand, like just always focus on the bigger picture, and you can see that it's just compression. There's just nothing going on. All of the volatility to 140 back to like 50 that we are, it's just nothing. It's nothing on the log scale, and this can just resolve to the upside very violently over a few, and everything's gonna look perfect. Everything's gonna look fine, and every single beer is gonna look like an idiot. And then we're gonna repeat it again, and people are gonna get rinsed out again, and everything's just gonna move. Don't get too excited. It might not be doable, but it's a recurring thought of mine. I'll send it after the stream. If it's not doable, literally, then we're gonna find a way to refine it and do it. That's kind of the thing, right? It's the beautiful thing about ideas. It's like you bring an idea, and maybe we did not do that exact thing if you feel like it's not doable, but then we incorporate it into something else. But the point remains, all ideas are good ideas. Good ideas are great ideas. So all ideas are welcome on stream anytime. If you guys have any ideas for anything you want me to touch on, or like sketches you want me to do, yo, feel free. Just drop it. I'll bring it alive. Honestly, it's gonna be such an honor. Okay, this is from Ryan. Right, I know Ryan. Right, I feel very pristine with my Litecoin bags. My money is pure, simple, and decentralized. What's this dude thing? Looks like Donald Trump. Is this something I'm supposed to know? Hear me out. Buy gift cards, but to add crypto. Nice. So this is from what? Bitnova? Oh, Bitnovo. Nice. And they accept Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. And these are the popular ones. Pretty cool, right? Litecoin's always like the top everywhere. Pretty freaking cool. These are the things that I like to see. Like if I'm not seeing updates like this, then I'll start to worry. Like if we're not seeing us getting adopted more like this, and being in that top spots of adoption, then maybe I'm gonna start to worry. But as long as we're getting this, honestly, it's so cool. Litecoin is a better Bitcoin. Yeah. This is something I like. This post from Master because it kind of like shows it. Like people might not know, but Litecoin might not have gone to the point where we have higher transaction numbers than Bitcoin, but we've gone to the point where we have actually surpassed Bitcoin when it comes to monetization. And it's like it's very easy to create noise and fuel block spaces and whatnot, but what you cannot fake is median transaction. And median transaction is what really matters for you to know whether or not something is being used. Median transaction tells you what actually happens, who is actually using it, how much are they spending. And you can see this chart, right? You can look at it, and that's how you're going to know Litecoin is being monetized more than Bitcoin, right? What is the average transaction used by Bitcoin? That's actually transacted on Bitcoin. So the average amount transacted on Bitcoin, $88,109 per transaction. So how are you going to know this? Is you can calculate the total value transacted and divide that by the number of transactions, and the value you're going to get is 88,000. And for Litecoin, that average about 12,297. And this is very important. We're going to talk about the distinction between this metrics and this other metrics. Now, this is the median transaction, and what the median does is it essentially finds the middle transaction. So what are the ones that are most frequently, what are the amount that are most frequently transacted, right? So the middle, you kind of like distribute all the data sets, and then you kind of like find the middle transactions, and that kind of gives you a more accurate perception of the actual amount that are being transacted on chain. And that's how you can use it as a more useful metric for figuring out what is being used and what is not really being used. Because again, the average can easily be skewed. Let's put it like this. Let's picture this, right? Bring a set of 100 people, and amongst that 100 people, about 60 of them make $100,000 a year. About 20 of them make about $50,000 a year, and about 10 of them make $10 million a year. Now, what you're going to end up seeing is that if you do the average transaction, because you have those 10 people that are making $10 million a year, that's like $100 million, right? And you can kind of like, when you do an average of that, the average transaction is going to be, the average, income is going to be showing something closer to 180 something thousand a year. And so that's going to give you the impression that most people are making 180 something thousand a year. But when you distribute the data set and you see that the amount in the middle is 100,000 a year, then that gives you a clear representation of what most people are actually earning in that data set. And that's why median is a much better representation of what's actually happening than average, because a few high value transactions, a few high value data sets can essentially skew the average and distort the entire data set. And so you don't really get a very useful value when you're calculating the average, but you get something much more useful when you're looking at the median. And that is why the median is being used. Once you go check what is your expected salary for any given profession, what you get shown by the Bureau of Statistics, you get shown the median. the median value, because that is actually more accurate, than the average, for the reasons I've just explained. And when you look at the fact that Litecoin has about $152 in median transaction compared to Bitcoin's $38 in median transaction as of the time when this data was actually captured, you can easily see that Litecoin is actually being monetized more by actual people that are using it for actual transactions than Bitcoin, whilst the majority of Bitcoin's actual transactions are just back and forth transactions happening between multi-billion-dollar whale wallets. And that's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. And that's how you know that at the stage we currently are, Litecoin is actually winning Bitcoin when it comes to monetization. And it's crazy. It's crazy because people aren't paying attention to this. This is real network effect. This is real users. This is real activity. So if there ever comes a point where everyone's going back to the foundations of what Bitcoin was designed for, which describes the state we are. Everyone's kind of tired of the whole debauchery, the whole casino talk, the whole gambling nonsense. Everyone's tired of that. Everyone's tired of the whole maxi grifting. Everyone's going back to the foundation. The question people are going to be asking is, of all these chains, of all these coins, which one of them has an actual shot with the current progression of its actual adoption, which has an actual shot of becoming the dominant money of the world? And Litecoin is on a better path than Bitcoin currently. And I can't even sort of compare it to the rest of the other censorship resistant money because it's just, miles ahead. But it's actually in the point where the number of transactions might have not defeated the king yet, but in terms of actual use, it has actually defeated Bitcoin. But before people end up catching on to this, information, we're going to be in such high valuations. It's going to be and then everyone's going to start talking about it. It's kind of the irony of things. True, there's no reason why LTC shouldn't be worth a fourth of Bitcoin, if not more. Honestly, market cap wise, I won't be surprised. And just based off of how we're going right now, right? Based off of what we have right now, and based off of the levels we're going to be unlocking once speculative interest returns to Litecoin, I mean, we're going to be unlocking new monetization levels. And the way Litecoin is kind of designed, we're not going to get fee spikes that are going to come as fast as it happened to Bitcoin. So we're going to have a much higher bandwidth to be able to achieve than Bitcoin actually can, right? And that's going to give us much more breadth to be able to unlock even bigger levels of, actual usage, actual daily use. And once we're getting to these levels, I would not see any reason why LTC should be worth anything less than a fourth of Bitcoin, or why LTC's market cap can't justify a number one spot. It's going to be hard to argue against. And if you talk to the POS bros about this, you know what the POS bros are going to tell you? This is what they're going to tell you. The POS bros are going to tell you this. They're going to tell you, oh yeah, but Ethereum's doing 5 million transactions, a day, or 2 million, 3 million, however many it's doing, about 2 million, something, 2 point something million. Last time I checked, 3 million. And Solana's doing 70 million transactions, or I think 60 something million transactions. And it's that is when you actually extrapolate to the actual values that Bitcoin, Litecoin stand for. And what they actually offer is not something any of these coins can possibly offer, which is why you cannot compare their number of transactions to them, because Litecoin and Bitcoin are censorship resistant hard monies. They're alternatives to the form of money that cannot be controlled by any entity, and every entity can participate in defending the network equally at any time. And that's the whole point of being censorship resistant and decentralized. And so their transactions and the value that they're actually transacting carry way more weight than that is, than whatever is being transacted on POS chains that are controlled by a handful of validators. And essentially, with a high enough stake, one gains a high enough control of the network at no further cost. It's not the same. only a type of coins or only a type of money proof of work, cryptocurrency can end up serving the purpose Bitcoin was created to be, which is to be the decentralized form, a neutral form of money that anybody, any government can use and no one can control. And it is the proof of work system that was designed by Satoshi. Proof of work, distributed ledger, where everyone can participate in network decentralization by running their own nodes, and everyone can participate in network security and defense by running, having their own miners and mining and joining the network and earning a reward from it. That's the whole point. That is what matters. That is what has value. That is what actually has a shot at getting adopted for actual monetary transactions by nation states, not your POS law token that's controlled by a few validators and a few people that already pre-allocated the coins, already have a permanent monopoly over it at no cost and no further cost. No, that matters for no shit. That doesn't matter a bit. Because if it did, and if you think the market doesn't know this or the market doesn't care about this, well, how is it that Solana with its 100 quadrillion transaction is not number one? It's no coincidence, because it's just not what the market is looking for. It's not what's valuable. What's valuable is what can resist censorship and control. And Bitcoin has it. Litecoin has it. So when we're talking about the numbers of Litecoin against Bitcoin, it carries more weight because they are equally special, because they share these properties that these other coins just don't share. And with that, I'm going to say we have to round up this live stream. I believe we've done the 1 hour and 3 minutes injury time. Oh my God, this was a blast. I really appreciate you guys turning off. UV Star baby, special. Appreciate you for always showing up for me. CK Cardano, special, bro. Special. Appreciate you, my man, for showing up. Absolute. I loved your energy. Appreciate you. Master, bro, man. Appreciate you for showing, bro. You're an absolute freaking legend. C Bass, this was your first stream. Absolutely appreciate you for freaking showing up, man. You're an absolute OG. Oh my God, Monochromicon. I'm seeing your post. Are you just posting now? Because I'm just seeing your comments. Ouch. I'm just seeing your comments. I don't know if you're just joining, but hi. I pushed my self-custody wallet with OmniLite support live yesterday. Oh my God, let's talk about that. Let me see. Let me know. That's pretty cool, right? How can we get more people to hear about that? That's pretty cool. Master Proper XD. Faster, cheaper, no RFB by default, MWeb. Why stick to Bitcoin? Oh my God, that's pretty cool. Let's talk about it. I'll probably send you a DM. Appreciate you for stopping by, bro. Appreciate you. You're an absolute legend. Thank you, Rafael. Appreciate you. Appreciate you so much, Uvisar, baby. You have no idea. Appreciate you so much. And with that, I'm going to say shout out to you guys. Thank you so much. Love you all. And I will see you guys on Saturday. You know it. You know the vibe. 5 p.m. EST. And with that, I'm going to be signing out. Peace.